Today I'm going to be talking to you about Final Fantasy IX, but more specifically, I'm going to talk to you about the Memoria Mod Manager and the Moguri Mod. Hello friends, family, and otherwise sentient organisms. My name is Ruby, and welcome to the channel. So Final Fantasy IX is both effectively and objectively the best game in the franchise, and if you don't agree with me, that's okay. You can just meet me outside in the parking lot after this video, and we can settle this 1v1 style. I'm not afraid to throw hands. But with it being the single greatest game ever known to mankind, it's unfortunate that it hasn't received the remake, remaster treatment that some other, less good games in the series have received. And yes, I am fully aware of the supposed remake / remaster that Square Enix is apparently doing. It was a leak, it was a rumor, I will believe it when I see it. So I recently started playing Final Fantasy IX on my Twitch channel. And for the first half of the game, I was kind of, for lack of a better term,
raw dogging it.
I was raw dogging Final Fantasy IX. Had no idea. During my playthrough, I wanted to find something that was going to spice it up or maybe make the gameplay just a little bit more interesting. And I'd always heard of the Moguri Mod project, but I've never actually seen it. All I knew about the Moguri Mod was that it was just AI regenerated, upscaled, pre-rendered backgrounds. Turns out it's a lot more than just AI upscaled pre-rendered backgrounds. It's packed full of graphical enhancements, quality of life improvements, cheats even if you're into that. So I'm going to show you a brief before and after of what the game looks like before the mod and after the mod, so you can see what it could look like on your system. Next, we're going to talk about the resources that you need to install the mod, where you can find those resources and the reputable sources to download them from, which I will, of course, link in the description down below. And last, I'll talk about some of the mods that I have installed and some of the settings that I'm using for my current playthrough. All sections are timestamped, so feel free to jump around. So let's hop to. So this is the Steam version of Final Fantasy IX, and it's probably much like you remember. The graphics are still a little upscaled, especially the character models, because this is the remastered, or I guess the reported version of Final Fantasy IX. So this is kind of like what you remember. 15, 30, 20, FPS, regular character models, everything kind of looks the same. Even the pre-drawn backgrounds are still there, but you can tell they're just a bit dated. They're a little pixely, they're a little lacking in resolution. So I'm going to play this here just a little bit so you can see, and then we'll go from there. Now, this is what the game looks like with the Moguri Mod. Just wait, you're going to be impressed. Just look at it. Oh my God. Look at this. This is with Toon-like character models. This is AI stable diffusion upscaled backgrounds. This is 60 frames per second. This is just gorgeous. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Look at that and tell me that that is not the most gorgeous thing you've ever seen in your entire life. The character models in battle also look just insanely gorgeous. I might be a little biased because I've been playing this game for years and I've always seen it the same way. And seeing it like this now, it's just awe-inspiring. And I know I'm gushing, but it's just pretty. Oh my God, it's just pretty. The scenes are also 30 frames per second. There's a mod that upscales the FMVs. I mean, just look at this. There are a few bugs here and there, but all in all, it's very well put together. So yes, this is where you're going to go to get started. You're going to navigate to the Google site that I have listed down below. Yes, it is a Google site. No, it is not known to be malicious. Yes, this is where you download the Memoria Mod Manager. No, it does not have a virus. I have scanned it and checked. So first things first, The Memoria Mod Manager and the Moguri Mod, I believe, can only be used on the Windows version of Final Fantasy IX. It can also be installed on the Linux version, according to their website. I have not tried that. I have not tried Linux gaming in several years because it's awful. Don't try it. It's terrible. I'm going to get a lot of flack for that. Whatever. So you're going to come over here and click Download Memoria. We'll open up a redirection page and you will see Memoria Patcher. Once you have the Memoria Patcher downloaded, you will click that and it will do basically the rest. It's going to look a little scary. It'll pop up a command window. It's going to do some things. Don't worry. It's not going to like encrypt all the files in your system. You're good. So once you run the patcher and it's installed, it's going to change the original Final Fantasy IX launcher from what you're used to seeing in the Windows version to this. This is the Memoria launcher, pre-installed with the Mod Manager. This is where you're going to download the Moguri Mod. It gives you basically a new launcher with some new options and some new features. Not all of these are inherent to Memoria. Some of these are the Moguri Mod, which we will show here in just a moment. So you're going to click Mod Manager. You'll see here, I already have a couple of mods already installed. Once you open this Mod Manager, you're going to click Browse Catalog, and you're going to see there's tons of mods that are already available to you at the click of a button here. From here, you're going to click the Moguri Mod. Right now, it is currently at 9.0. I believe it was released like August 11th. Super new, a lot of new tweaks. You'll see some of the change notes here in the Mod Manager. Simply double click the mod and it will download. It's going to take a bit. The Moguri Mod is quite large. It's almost like, when I downloaded it, it was almost like 5 gigabytes. It was quite a hefty mod. So if it takes a while or if it looks like it's stuck, don't worry about it. It should be fine. So now that we went over the actual installation process for the Moguri Mod, let me talk about some of the mods that I currently have installed, and then I'll go over some of the features and options that I have configured here in the launcher. So currently I have obviously the Moguri Mod, some of the Moguri files. I think that this is actually an older version. I don't think it actually works. Moguri soundtrack, which I believe comes with the Moguri Mod. This is a full orchestral remaster of the original Final Fantasy IX music. It is gorgeous. It is fantastic. It's not always my cup of tea. There are some things that I actually do prefer the original, like PS1 style MIDIs, you know, but it's always nice to have like a fresh take. And then of course I've also installed the Moguri 30 FPS. This contains 30 FPS videos, natively 15 fluidified by AI. So they've taken the FMVs that were originally 15 frames a second and they've used AI to render them to 30 frames per second. So definitely a good one here. The Koopa Hero Pack actually has some really nice tweaks that I don't use all of them, but I do use some. Like you can enable it to add resistance to zombie via auto life and virus via antibody, which just makes sense. And for some reason in the original game, it just didn't work that way. It works that way now. Some other things too. So you can double the damage of thievery. You can allow Vivi to gain access to the arrow, quake, and water spells, which makes sense. And there's no real reason why he shouldn't have had those to begin with. Definitely a good one to play around with. Some other ones don't really make a lot of sense. Like Steiner can equip Save the Queen. They don't really do too much anything. And then some other tweaks for some other characters. And then of course the Koopa UI suite, which does some various changes. You can configure some various changes like a darker dialogue box, if that is something that you prefer. With that being said, those are some of the mods that I have currently installed and that I'm using. Let's talk about some of the options that I currently have configured for my game. Right now I'm running it at 1080p. That's because I'm streaming it right now and I have one monitor, so I like to be able to see my game and my chat at the same time. Some other options, you can select the orchestral music, change the 30 FPS, there's actually a widescreen hack, which is one that I'm using currently for my playthrough. You can set up anti-aliasing to make those character models and those 3D models just more sharp. You can set the FPS, so you can either leave it at the native 15, 20, 30. Currently I have it set to 60 frames a second, which just makes the characters and everything look so smooth and fluid. You can change the battle HUD to either be big, small, or even you can set it to the PlayStation like HUD. Some options that I use are I skip the intros for the main music, skip the battle swirl, which I'm actually going to turn that off because I actually like that, believe it or not. So actually one of my favorite options that they've added that I'm not doing for this playthrough, but for my next playthrough, you can set the game to triple triad or even a hybrid tetra triad, because I think we can all agree the Final Fantasy IX card game was abysmal. I love this game so much. That card game is terrible and I hate it. Everyone hates it. Some cheats that you can enable are the 100% steal rate, which I am currently using. You can call me a cheater all you want, okay? But I am a moderately successful adult with a full-time job, a career, and a spouse and marriage that I have to keep up with. I do not have time to reload the game every 9 minutes because I wasn't able to steal the coral sword from Beatrix in the 9-minute time period. Okay, 100% steal rate. The steal rates in this game, again, love it, fantastic game, best game ever made. The steal rates are abysmal. Anyone who's ever tried to like steal the fairy flute from the Helgigus, like 0.34% steal rate. Absolutely not. I do not have the time. We're doing 100% steal. You can also set things like manual trance, which honestly I think should have been given in this game. I'm so glad that they changed that to the limits in the overdrives in Final Fantasy X. You can disable the can't concentrate for Garnet or Dagger whenever she loses her voice. I believe that is something you can turn off. You can break the damage limit, do a bunch of other little things. I don't really do a ton because I like to have as much of the original experience as possible while also upscaling it and revitalizing it. So last but not least, let's talk about some of the character models that you saw. In the advanced settings, you can enable custom shaders, and you can set the models to have different types of shaders here. You can either have it realistic or toon-like. You can even have model outlines if you want. Currently, for the gameplay that you saw earlier, I have the custom shaders turned on with toon and model outlines. So if you're curious to know what that looks like that, I just think it breathes new life into the game. That plus the 60 FPS and all the other tweaks, it's just good. It's just fantastic, guys. So with all that being said, I hope that you try out the Moguri Mod and the Memoria Mod Manager. I'm having such a wonderful time playing through this game with new life breathed into it. It's just mwah, chef's kiss. Please let me know if you have any questions. If you have any thoughts, comments, concerns, kudos, all that fun stuff, leave it in the comments below. And before I let you go, please, if you have a chance, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you like it. And I'll see you again in the next video, guys. Toodles.